Europe and India, they have some common ideas and thoughts, particularly protecting the traditional product, unique product.
Traditional products are often at a great disadvantage when competing in global markets. Some extreme cases have called for the need for protection.
Basmati is the kind of rice with some geographical connotations of high repute in India, but was also a rice that was the subject of an international controversy with some companies in the United States that decided to patent some variations of this rice, and this created a big controversy in India because it was felt that these American companies had been stealing something that truly belonged to India. And this is when geographical indications came in. All of a sudden people felt, okay, if we don't want people to take this away from us, we should protect it. And the way to protect it was geographical indications. India is certainly, like the European Union, an area of the world with a long history and millenary civilization. And this is a prerequisite, if you like, or certainly fertile ground for geographical indications to grow. You need to have tradition, you need to have art, you need to have culinary culture, if you like, for geographical indications to grow.
India enacted a specific law for protection of geographical indication rights, and then the first registration started with Darjeeling, and today the journey continued. We have more than 280 GI registered in India.
But we are following the policies of the government of India, and we are very happy to do so. What we are bringing in is not our policy preferences, but rather our technical expertise. We are there to help India.
You are giving unique product. It may be unique in terms of, say, nutritional value. It may be unique in terms of color, taste, attractiveness. You are giving a good product to the international people, global citizens.
An opportunity for those people who want to keep up with the tradition and maintain these, the cultural roots by doing the same thing that their ancestors did. And for that, of course, you need to create a vehicle that allows these people to communicate with consumers.
Situated on the southwestern tip of India, the state of Kerala boasts a population of over 30 million people, whose main source of food is rice. The district of Palakkad is considered to be the breadbasket of Kerala. That's why it's not surprising that these old guard posts were built to allow farmers to protect their precious rice from theft. Even more so given the fact that it's a variety unique to this region. A real treasure known as Navara red rice. The medicinal properties of this extraordinary food go back thousands of years. However, towards the end of the last century, this basic ingredient of Ayurvedic medicine was on the verge of extinction. The story of its revival is a gripping tale of perseverance and personal conviction, and the person who has played a key role is this man.
So we had a plan of focusing on specialty rices of Kerala during that period. So I made a conscious decision after losing my father in 1994. During that period, the farmers of Kerala were leaving away or moving away from farming, and the people who worked in the farm also were looking for other jobs. At that time, I was selling computers. We lost our father, so we didn't expect, it was not expected. His demise at that time was not expected. So I had to make a decision. I have made a declaration that I am a farmer. I wanted to make a living out of farming, so that this has to be economically viable also.
Being granted the status of geographical indication is vital in achieving the viability of traditional products in current markets. What's more, this is a perfect example of how the concept of GI can help to maintain the wealth of local people and diversity.
So now people in Kerala itself, we have seen that in the last 10 years, looking back into what is good in their own tradition, in the Indian tradition of food, in the Indian tradition of medicine, in Indian medicine, medical systems. And so surely Navara is gaining its own place in the arena of health.
So Navara is a traditional rice variety of Kerala. It has been mentioned in ancient Ayurveda scriptures as Shashtika rice. Shashtika means, in Sanskrit, a rice which matures in 60 days.
The district of Palakkad is populated by people who are good-natured and respectful of their traditions, but also forward-looking. The 21st century represents a challenge to all of us. The area is mostly made up of small farm holdings. Many have kept some of the original tropical trees. Crossed by the river Shokanashini, this region lies at the foot of the Western Ghat Mountains and is the northern gateway to the Kerala. It represents a major geographical feature by splitting the imposing Ghat mountain chain into two. Spread out along 652 kilometers, the mountains are only interrupted by this great plain 32 kilometers wide. This geographical change also brings a variation in the climate compared to neighbouring regions, with a microclimate which suits the needs of Navara rice to perfection. It washes away sadness and brings happiness. That's the lovely meaning of the name of the river Shokanashini. Its waters are the lifeblood for all the crops grown in this region, where rainfall is 20% less than the rest of Kerala. That's why it's also known as the farmer's lifeline. Adequate water management is essential for growing rice. Uni's father first set up this simple but effective water cycle in 1955. Pumping water from the river to supply the needs of the house and the trees. It's then stored in this little lake, which regulates the water for the rice fields and returns any overflow to the river.
Ours is a 125-year-old family farm. I am the third generation of the family. My father looked after the farm for 61 years of his life, starting from 17, and we lost him at his age of 78, So he was managing the farm for the last years, or 61 years of his life. Before that, his forefathers started the farm here.
Today, they are carrying out one of the oldest rituals dedicated to red rice farming. In the front door, they put an oil lamp and rangolis, which are drawings made in welcome areas of the house to eliminate negative energy. Also, tulsi, a sacred basil, which is highly used in Ayurvedic medicine. Everything is ready now for these women and their precious load of medicinal rice.
Navara rice, which is called Shashtiga in Sanskrit. Shashtiga is the most suitable and the most beneficial one as far as medical therapy is concerned. So this Navara, use of Navara rice is, as it is, we can tell that as old as the Ayurvedic textbooks, more than 5,000 years, since which it is being used for medicinal purposes.
The women have just harvested the first crop of the year, and they are bringing it back to complete the ritual. Celebrated since time immemorial, this ceremony marks the start of the harvest. A very special day for these people, who make sure that their traditions are carefully observed.
Ayurveda is a mainstream medicine, where the local population know the strengths of Ayurveda, where it will be very successfully dealing with which all diseases, and so along with the modern medicine, Ayurveda is also given a lot of importance and sought after by the public to get their cure done. But there are areas where modern medicine is very strong, like the surgical conditions and other conditions where the modern science has contributed for the growth of modern medicine. So I can compare that a very good amalgamation of proper use of Ayurvedic medicine and modern medicine, medical technology, according to the need, is the best thing.
This product, so highly regarded as food and as traditional Indian medicine, was on the verge of extinction in the 1960s. With the aim of ensuring food for the population of Kerala, farmland belonging to large landowners was shared out between the villagers, and a law was passed prohibiting the possession of more than 6 acres per family for growing rice. These allocations caused a sudden change in farming practices, as a family could not subsist on a production of 6 acres of red rice alone. Coinciding with the rapid adoption of more productive hybrids of rice, Navara rice disappeared from the paddy fields of the Shokanashini, its only natural habitat in the whole world. This was a situation where Uni, together with his family, decided to start growing red rice once again. At that moment, the main difficulty was finding pure seeds, because many of the remaining plants had become hybrids of the new varieties.
I thought it was up to me whether to take up the challenge. But at the same time, I wanted to make it economically viable also. That was why I thought specialty rices like Navara, and which had origins in this geography, I thought they were becoming almost extinct. So I thought reviving that and reviving the cultivation of that, and then making it available to the society.
60-day red rice began to be sown once more in the fields of Navara. As soon as geographical indication declaration was regulated in India, it became obvious that the GI rating fit the bill perfectly for this product.
We have this traditional rice which is very unique, and it has medicinal benefits and health benefits. It's a nutritional rice. But farmers are not able to cultivate it because we are not getting a good price. Then we registered our society, Navara Rice Farmers Society, and the Navara Rice Farmers Society applied for GI of Navara. Then the process started.
The producers of this GI are smallholders grouped together in an association called the Navara Rice Association.
It took us 3 years. We started the process in October 9th, 2004, and we got the registration in November 2007. Navara is the first agricultural product in India to be registered as a GI under a farmer-led initiative. Ours was the 17th application all over India.
After several years of GI, rice production has increased considerably, and farmers are in a better position to sell more profitably.
The next was, of course, we consulted with Ayurveda doctors, and they were doctors and the Vaidyas were all, traditional Vaidyas, Ayurveda Vaidyas were of the opinion that Navara being a medicinal rice and a health rice, no chemical fertilizer or pesticide should be applied, used. It should be cultivated only organically.
Nearby the rice fields are the main reserves of Indian tropical forests, authentic treasures of biodiversity of world importance. The exceptionally good natural state of conservation in the region and its delicate ecological balance mean that organic rice can be grown without using chemicals to maintain its purity and health-giving properties. Curiously, one of the farmer's main enemies is also one of the most spectacular birds in the world, the peacock. This beautiful bird is a national symbol in India and as such is protected, but it represents a risk to plantations as it eats a large amount of rice. In this case, a simple yet effective solution has been found: scaring the birds when they are most active. Work in the rice fields is passed down from father to son, and successive generations of farmers have toiled in these same fields.
The people who work in our farm are from our locality. They are neighbors, our neighbors themselves, and they live very near to our farm, and their families also live very near to farm, and they have been working with us for quite some time, very long period.
For the community, it's essential that the rice crops can be successfully sold to contribute to the economy. GI status really does guarantee that their livelihoods will be improved and made sustainable. Organic production provides more employment in exchange for abandoning the use of chemicals harmful to health and the environment. Uni devoted himself to finding solutions to the problems of farming without using pesticides and other chemicals incompatible with organic agriculture. In this case, to control the plague of insects, they were captured by hand and their remains were scattered in the fields because the smell repels other insects.
If we use the pesticide, it will take only 15 to 20 minutes for a person to spray the pesticide in 1 acre of land and control. It will be one time during this crop duration. But we are not using pesticides. So we tried different methods. We didn't know, we didn't have one single solution. So we have to adopt different methods to control this pest.
Uni is also experimenting with plants which repel plagues of insects, such as the marigold with its beautiful yellow flowers, and the tulsi, the sacred basil. Fertilization is also carried out naturally, taking advantage of plants growing nearby as green fertilizer. Organic farming not only guarantees environmental and economic sustainability, but is also fundamental in maintaining the medicinal qualities of the product. The Navara is an early maturing crop, harvested within a time span of 60 to 90 days. Unlike other varieties cultivated in the region, this one can only be harvested once a year. The rice is now ready for harvesting. After this, it undergoes a simple but effective process to separate the grain from the husk and the rest of the plant. After the harvest, it can also be turned into flour or flakes.
So a traditional way of cultivation with organic manure and normal way of watering and no use of pesticides. And so now the importance has come. It has got now due to the efforts of people who are involved in that. And those things have given a little impetus to the realizing that Navara is an important variety which is useful medicinally, and it has to be grown properly and utilized properly.
The red rice of Navara is used in a wide variety of regional dishes, and it takes pride of place in a great many homemade desserts like payasam, a kind of rice pudding. Its character, consistency, flavour and colour give a special touch to all the dishes it is used in and sets it apart from other varieties of rice. Thanks to its wonderful qualities, its eco-friendly production and its distinctive GI, Navara rice will soon become renowned worldwide. For the local people and their livelihoods, this will undoubtedly herald a bright new future.
So I think now we should try to work towards that, to make public that this has been registered GI. So how it helps the consumers also.
And this is important, the medicinal value of this Navara rice. And that particular Navara rice is possible to cultivate in particular geographical condition only. So that is the meaning of this GI certification. In that very particular climatic condition only, these medicinal values paddy will be cultivated.
So now it's important that we realize the richness of the culture, the health culture, the agriculture traditions. One important thing is that the nature gives in its own place what is required for the people living there. So Navara rice is an important component of the total life, agriculture and lifestyle of people.
So we need to focus a lot on sustainability. And what this project is about is generating things that we can touch a little bit today, but hopefully that we can touch maybe 3, 5 or 10 years down the line, This is what geographical indications are, This is an instrument that helps the population, that helps producers, provide a guarantee to consumers.
I have made a declaration that I am a farmer. I wanted to make a living out of farming, so that this has to be economically viable also.
India is part, an important ingredient, if you like, on any strategy to make intellectual property protection more effective on a sustainable basis around the world. Geographical indications represent a meeting point between Europe and India. It is something that we have been working on for a long time. The intellectual property is part of our good relation with the government of India, and it is so on a lasting basis.